Good evening and welcome to our next edition of Cooking with Michael. First, as always, I want to thank everyone who is watching not only tonight but has been watching all along, watched all of our episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. Those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. And if this is your first episode, I'm glad you're here with us tonight. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you take a chance and take some time to go back and look at some of our previous episodes. Had a lot of fun over the last few months really putting this together. So this week, as I've been saying every week, we had a huge increase in subscribers. So thank you for those of you who are new to the show. And also, we've had a lot of people going and looking at some of our previous videos as well as the more recent ones. I hope you're getting something out of it. I hope you're loving it. And of course, I hope you're sharing it with others who haven't seen them yet. As I always say, those of you who haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because the more subscribers, the more likes, the more comments, the more we show up on people's feeds, and the more we can do this show that we love. So real quick before we get started, we know this week was a holiday week, so the dinner tonight we're going to show you is really to kind of forget about the fact that you probably spent hours in the kitchen cooking ham or turkey, or maybe you did Chinese takeout, or maybe you did pizza or what have you, but something to kind of get away from the tons of food you may have spent all the time in the world cooking yesterday. I know this year's a little bit different. We probably didn't get to spend it with the families that we wanted to, but I'm sure you probably spent a good amount of time cooking. So tonight we're going to make a real quick, easy dinner for our date night, so we can, of course, spend some time, as we always do, with our loved one, our spouse, our date night, whomever. So a couple shout outs first. I'm going to move this down a little bit. I want to show you Aztec Creations, who's become a big sponsor of ours, gave me an apron that they said I should wear. It's got our logo on it, Cooking with Michael. Also, of course, made some pot holders with Cooking with Michael on it. So thank you so much to Aztec Creations. It has been it's fantastic to have you guys on board and watching and helping us out. Of course, I want to take a moment and say thank you to Andrew, our wine guy at Chapel Beer and Wine, who always makes sure that I have, where we go? There we go. Who always makes sure I've got enough Pinot Grigio in order to provide a great date night dinner. So before we do anything else, going to take my sip of my Pinot Grigio. And if you watched our newest trailer for our show, we do pay special homage to the Pinot Grigio. So yeah, need that Pinot Grigio. All right. So tonight, as I said, I know you spent, or you may have spent a good amount of time cooking for your family, whether it was just your immediate family or whether you were lucky enough to spend with extended family. Whether you had ham or turkey or roast beef or whatever you had for your holiday dinner. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. We're going to kind of make it another quick, easy dinner, so you can forget about the leftovers for right now, because you may have completely turkeyed yourself out or whatnot. So tonight we're going to do stuffed bell peppers. Another one of our favorites here. We love doing this. I haven't done anything like this yet on our show, but tonight, and we'll show you the ingredients in just a minute. But it's real simple. It's ground beef, it's rice, it's marinara sauce, stuffed inside a bell pepper and cooked in the oven for about a half an hour. So real quick, real easy, but again, delicious, tasty date night dinner. So you can spend time with your loved one, your spouse, your significant other. So why don't we just go ahead and get started? I'm going to take one more sip of my Pinot Grigio. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started. We'll do the ground beef first, and then once that's cooking, we'll get the peppers ready and whatnot. So, again, thank you all for watching. Welcome to the show, and let's get this thing started for tonight. All right, just real quick, you can see what we're going to be using tonight. Ground beef, rice, marinara sauce, green peppers, and, of course, the Pinot Grigio. And, of course, special thanks to Aztec Creations. You can see the pot holder there with our name on it. So here we go. All right, and we're back. You saw the ingredients that we're going to use. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start browning the ground beef. I did, of course, go to my butcher today. Got fresh ground beef. They basically grind it right there when you order it. So the butcher counter, it's fantastic. I love going there. So, but real quick, you can see in the back, I've actually already done my rice. We've talked about this on previous episodes. Rice is real simple. You follow directions on the package. 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice will actually, when it's cooked, turn into 2 cups of rice. All we really need for this tonight is 2 cups of rice. I've already done that. I've already gotten it done and cooked. It takes about a half an hour to do that, so I prepared that ahead of time. So, but anyway, want to show you that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn on my stove, turn it on to a little above medium, and I'm going to take out my ground beef. And I'm going to crumble it up just because it makes it a little easier to brown. You can leave it as whole, but you want to try, and the whole idea again is speed. So you want to try and make it as simple as possible to brown. So we're going to take that, get the rest of that out there, put that over there, crumble it up, and then of course as it browns you just stir it until it's fully browned and fully crumbled up into tiny little pieces of brown ground beef. And then we'll talk about draining it, of course, when it's all done. We talk about it every single time, but you do not want to drain this directly into the sink. You want to drain it into a can or into a bowl or something along those lines, because if not, you'll definitely ruin your pipes. They'll clog up the pipes in the drain, and you'll be spending your entire date night with a plumber, which is not what your spouse or your date night, your loved one, wants to do. She doesn't want the plumber here. She wants to spend it, or he wants to spend it with you. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to let that brown, and we're going to stop. We'll come right back when it's almost brown. Again, it's cooking. It takes about 10 minutes to brown, and then we'll go to the next step. So we'll be right back. All right, we are back, and as you can see, the ground beef is cooking pretty good, pretty quickly. As I said before, the whole idea is if you keep it ground up pretty finely when you're cooking it, it will cook quickly. So let me just do this real quickly. Pull that over, and green peppers. You want 4 green peppers, okay? That's really what's going to be about, 4 green peppers. And you want a small bowl over here, and you're going to cut the top of the green pepper off, okay? And you're not going. So I don't use the tops of the green peppers. Some people will stuff them and put the top back on. I don't. That's just me. You can do however you want, but what you definitely want to do is you want to get, you can see in there the seeds, okay? You want to get the seeds out of there. You can tap it a little bit. Let me move this over. You can tap it a little bit, get the seeds out of there. You want to get also some of that meat out of the green pepper, the white meat on the side of the green pepper that's kind of sticking out. You want to get that. Make sure you get that all out. And then you want a green pepper that looks like that, basically hollow, okay? And you want to do it for all 4. But while that's doing that, just checking my meat real quick here. God, there's just so many jokes here. While I'm checking my meat, what I'm going to do is, it looks like it's done, so I'm going to drain it, and then I'll come right back. What I'm going to do from there is I'm going to take the ground beef. I'm going to take a bigger bowl here, okay, before I go back to the green peppers. Take a bigger bowl, and I'm just going to pour the meat into the bigger bowl. I'm going to put that in the sink. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to mix the rice in here next. Okay, so now that it's in there, I can take my rice, which is done. Again, rice takes about a half an hour to cook. 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice will actually make 2 cups of rice cooked. So you want to get that. And you can see we're just going to scoop this all together in here. Okay, try and get as much of the rice. Sometimes the rice sticks in the bottom. It is what it is. So we're going to take this and... Alright, so now I got that. I'm going to move that over to the sink as well. And I'm going to just kind of mix this up together. Okay? Now, you can do some seasonings to it if you'd like. Again, this is we talk about... we always talk about symphony versus a solo. You want the different items within the recipe to kind of be bold and outstanding for themselves. Stuffed green peppers are a little bit different. So there's really not a whole lot of taste to regular ground beef. There's a little bit. There's not a lot of flavor to regular rice. There's a little bit. But nothing huge. So what you want to do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take a little bit of my salt, my sea salt grinder. from Aldi. Aldi. Okay. Had to get my Aldi statement in tonight again. I figure if I say it every time, again, they're going to sponsor me or have me arrested. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a little bit of salt in there, just a couple of grinding of salt, and then I'm going to take my pepper mill, also from, you know where it's from. Do that a little bit. And then I'm going to take, last but not least, I'm going to take onion powder, okay? Just a very light bit of onion powder. That's it. Just a couple of taps of the onion powder. Again, and then I'm going to mix it up. Now, from here, there are a couple ways you can go. You can do a homemade marinara sauce, and if you have watched my show before, you may have seen me making the homemade marinara sauce. I love making my own marinara sauce. And if you haven't, don't worry, I will do it again at some point. However, tonight, I'm not going to. Why? Because I, like many people, spent a lot of time cooking yesterday for the holidays, so I'm trying to make it a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that I typically say is taboo. I'm going to use jarred marinara sauce. We'll just cover that up because they're not going to sponsor me. What the hell. All right, so I'm going to use jarred marinara sauce, and then I'm going to take, basically I'm going to take just half the jar. Put half the jar in there, okay? And there's a reason I'm going to do half the jar. I'm going to do half the jar now, and I'm going to basically stir this up. Okay? And you see it's not going to be real saucy. It's not going to be, it's not going to be, dripping in the sauce, and there's a reason for that, because you don't want the sauce to drip and be all gooey inside the stuffed bell pepper. So we'll mix all of this up here. All right. And just so you know, Phoebe, my helper dog, let's see if I can get a quick shot of her. Phoebe, my helper dog, all right. She's come in to watch and hang out, which last week she really didn't do much of that, so she's hanging out tonight, which is good. All right, so that's really what it looks like. You can see it's basically just ground beef, rice, and tomato sauce all mixed up. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside for right now. I'll come back to that. And again, we showed you the green pepper. I'm going to take this, my dish, I'm going to put it in. I'm going to put it in there. Before I finish up my other green peppers, I'm going to set my timer, I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. So we'll do bake, 375. And again, if you've watched my show, always got to check the oven, make sure the kids didn't put anything in there, and they didn't. But this recipe came about with one night when we didn't have any food in the house except for green peppers that I had used for, if you watch my previous episode, I used for shrimp creole. We had some extra green peppers in the house, and I didn't feel like ordering out. I didn't feel like doing anything major, and I'm like, you know what? I've never had a stuffed green pepper, and this was about 10 years ago. I never had a stuffed green pepper, so I gave it a shot, and I used kind of what I like. The ground beef, the rice, and some tomato sauce or marinara sauce, whatnot. And that was it. So that's it real quick for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a drink of my Pinot Grigio. I'm going to get ready to stuff these, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So what I got here is I got my green peppers in a Corningware dish. Basically 4 stuck together. Trying to keep them from falling over because green peppers are not the easiest to keep standing up. Some people, by the way, will take that and they'll actually cut off the bottoms just slightly to flatten, make them easier to stand. I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to put them in like that, kind of have them lean against each other and be good. And then real simple, I'm going to reach in, I'm going to take my spoon, and I'm going to just stuff the peppers. Anyway, so now we're going to just keep moving down and filling up each pepper. Now, the one thing also is I try to get, where I go to my butcher and my fishmonger and whatnot, has some of the largest vegetables I've ever seen in my entire life. So I try and get the bigger ones for this in order to make sure that I use all of the meat filling and I have none to put away. But I'm going to fill this up as much as I can. And we'll take the last pepper here. Sometimes the bigger peppers makes it easier. Sometimes if you go to your regular local grocery store, sometimes the peppers are a little smaller, so you may have to use more peppers. Again, you'll learn that as you go, and you'll figure it out each time you make it, how many peppers you need, what have you. I came up a little bit short. I probably could have gotten away with one more pepper, because I'm 4 peppers into it, and I have probably just enough for a 5th pepper. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, it's called stuffed green peppers for a reason, or stuffed bell peppers for a reason. I'm going to stuff the shit out of these, and I'm going to put a ton of meat and rice and sauce mixture in them to kind of use up. So because I don't want to just take this last little bit and save that. I want to actually use it all. So I'm going to take that, and you can see I'm almost done here. All right. Try and keep it from falling over too. So, and I'm going to use my finger, get the last little bit off the... All right. Put that in the sink. Now, while I'm waiting for the oven to finish preheating, I'm going to take a little bit of Pinot Grigio. Again, it's all about the Pinot Grigio. Of course, the more you drink it, the better it is. So, all right. Now I'm going to take a little bit of water. I'm just going to take about a half a cup of water, and I'm going to put the water into the bottom of the pan, or the Corningware pot. And the reason you're going to do that is so they don't really, well, for 2 reasons. One, you don't want them to stick to the bottom of it. The second reason is you want to create a little bit of steam, which is going to help soften the peppers. I'm waiting for that to heat up. So there's a couple of schools of thought when you're doing the green peppers. Some will actually boil the green peppers for about 8 minutes. You make them nice and soft. Some will flash boil them, which is where you take the boiling water and you basically take tongs and you chop them and you actually hold it in the boiling water for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Again, just to give it a nice little softer texture to the green pepper. I don't do that. I don't do that because I kind of like a little bit of the crunchiness and the rawness to the green pepper when I'm stuffing it. So really, there's no wrong way to do that. You can do it with the full boiling, the flash boiling, or the way we do it here, the way I just showed you, and that is actually the raw pepper. The other piece of it is some people might put a little bit of cheese on top of the green pepper. If you've watched my episodes before, I am not a huge fan of cheese. I do use it, obviously, because there's, it does go well with a lot of recipes, but I don't put the cheese on top. You can put the cheese on top and then cook it in the oven for the 30 minutes, and when it comes out, it'll be nice and melted. It's a nice little topper and a little extra flavor to your stuffed bell pepper. Again, something a little extra we can do, or you can do at home. As we always say, we're giving you the blueprint. And the good thing about cooking, actually the great thing about cooking, is there's so many different ways to do each item. It's just like when you go to different restaurants, you see the same item on the menu, but they always have a description on the bottom. And it's not because you may or may not know what's in it, but the good thing is that you see what the chef is doing a little bit different, and that's fantastic. And that's why cooking is so much fun, because you can always add a little bit of your own to it. You can add a little bit of your own ingredients, your own little flair to it, and it makes it so much more fun. So for us, for what I'm showing you here, no cheese on top. My wife is upstairs, and if she heard me say no cheese on top, she's probably cringing because she loves cheese, and she knows how much I don't. So I'm not going to do that. But again, we got the 4 stuffed peppers, and in just a minute or so, we'll put them in the oven. When you put them in the oven, you're putting them in for 30 minutes. Okay? What that's going to do is it's not only going to cook everything, it's going to make the meat and the sauce kind of come together to taste with the bell pepper. It's also going to cook the bell pepper, which is, we talked about whether or not you should flash boil it or regular boil it. If you cook it for 30 minutes, it will be cooked enough. It's still going to have a little bit of crunchiness to it, which I like, and it's still going to be cooked, which is good. So, and before we put that in there, last but not least, we're going to take the rest of our marinara sauce, and we are actually going to, it's preheated, and what we're actually going to do here is I'm going to just pour it right on top of each of the peppers. Okay? And you're not going to spread it around. You're not going to use a spoon to make sure everything. You're just going to spread, pour it out. And then you're going to pour it into the dish as well. Okay? So that's all you're going to do. Get the last little bit out of there. So a full jar will do just fine for what you're doing. And as you can see, they're covered. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mixture. I'm going to take my new pot holders, even though I should use them when they come out. I'm going to take my new pot holders. Thank you, Aztec Creations. Okay. And I'm going to put this in the oven. All right. And we're going to set our timer for 30 minutes. And then once that is done, we'll take them out. We'll taste them, as we always do. We'll love them. And that'll be ready for your date night. So I'm going to take a little more Pinot Grigio. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to let this go for the 30 minutes. When we come back, again, we'll take it out of the oven. We'll take one out. We'll taste it. We'll drink a little Pinot Grigio, and we'll go have a fantastic, fantastic date night. So sit tight. We'll be right back, and look forward to seeing you in just a little bit. All right. And we're just coming back now. The timer is going off, so I'm going to go ahead. Let me turn the timer off here. And how do I turn the timer off? I don't know how to do that. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out this new oven. But anyway, so it's all done. We're going to pull it out of the oven. We're going to taste it. We're going to see what it's like. So let me grab my Cooking with Michael pot holders. Thank you again, Aztec Creations. I'm going to keep saying them for like another day, another episode or two. By the way, real quick, YouTube does say that you have to acknowledge whether or not you're getting paid for anything or paid sponsorships. We're not getting paid for any of this. They donated these to us. They're one of our subscribers, and they donated these to us. So, not getting paid, but I do thank you so much because it really is. It's really kind of nice, and it just continues to add more. Eventually, I'll put their website up there, and if you want to order anything from them, we'll get that information for you as well. So, let me pull this out real quick. Oh, a lot of steam. All right, and this is. There they are. This is what they look like when they come out of the oven. All right. Let me turn the oven off. So, like I said, they got a little bit of sauce. They're cooked. The whole idea is making sure everything is warm and cooked inside, making sure that the tastes kind of meld together a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my plate. I'm going to grab, which one's not going to make anything fall? So we're going to grab this one, actually. All right. Hey, it's going to fall over, so I'm take this off. Hey, it didn't. All right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take this stuffed bell pepper, and let me reach over here out of frame a second. And what I'm going to do is I am going to, bear with me a second, I'm going to actually cut a little bit of the bell pepper. And again, the whole idea is that the bell pepper is cooked when you're cooking it in the oven, which is why I don't flash boil it or boil it or anything like that, because it still gives you a nice crunchy taste. So what I'm doing is I'm actually just cutting a piece of the bell pepper off. It's falling over as we speak, and that's all right. All right. Good thing about it is it doesn't matter if you make a mess on your plate because it's all going in one place anyway. So we're going to take the green pepper. We're going to take the meat. Fantastic, as always. So I'll put that aside. Actually, I'm going to take one more bite of that. That is really good. Excellent. All right, so that is stuffed bell peppers, stuffed green peppers, whatever you want to call it. We gave you the blueprint tonight. I hope you love it. I hope you try it. Thank you again for watching. If you know someone who you think will love the show, send a link to them. Have them subscribe. Have them comment. Have them try. Have them what have you. Because the more subscribers, the more comments, the more views, the more we can do this, and the more that people will see us showing up on their feeds, and the more we can continue to grow this show that we love. So, again, thank you all for watching. It's been a hell of a ride for the beginning of, since we've been doing this for 2020. And we're looking to a great 2021 and a great year for us, growing significantly. So, thanks to my producer, Melissa. Fantastic job all the way around. Thank you so much. Thank you to Mannion Family Productions, who has helped us early on with lighting issues and whatnot. Thank you to Aztec Creations, not only for assisting us with the logos, some design, and of course the wonderful, one more time, wonderful apron, as well as the other stuff they've given us and the stuff that they've been doing all along. And of course, thank you to Candace, who is not only my wife and my date night, my partner, but also has been the director and executive producer through this entire thing, and has also indulged me in allowing us to do these episodes. So we're looking forward to growing it. Again, we look forward to more subscribers. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the dinner. Enjoy your date night. Have a great, great date night. And we'll see you again every Saturday night, 8 p.m. We'll see you next Saturday, 8 p.m. on Cooking with Michael. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much. Good night.